Mystery plane crash. The FBI now investigating whether this deadly accident was intentional. A passenger was killed, the street up in flames. What the pilot is revealing this morning.
New trouble for Jim Carrey, the comedian, under fire, now being sued by his ex-girlfriend's mother. Her explosive claims about the actor. Was he responsible for her daughter's death?
And the Chicago Cubs are moving on to the National Championship Series.
And overnight, the Cubs' big comeback. Chicago rallying in the bottom of the ninth for a giant win. Now perhaps on their way to making history. Can they break a century-old curse?
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. Is the curse about to end? That is the big question this morning after the Cubs beat the San Francisco Giants, advancing to the National League Championship Series.
And it was a very intense, nail-biting ninth inning. It went down to the wire. But the Cubs, there they are, celebrating a big win. Well, they've got a long way to go to overcome that so-called curse of the Billy Goat.
We're going to talk about that more later. But first, let's start with the race for the White House. Just 27 days until the election. Donald Trump lashing out at his own party's leaders, saying the shackles are off. That tweet, part of a day-long tirade. He fired off at least 10 attacks. Trump's campaign manager, Kellyanne Conway, is here standing by live to talk to George. We're going to hear from her in a moment. But first, let's go to ABC's Tom Yamas at Trump Tower. Good morning, Tom.
Robin, good morning to you. Campaign sources tell me those tweets and the clashes with Paul Ryan are all part of the same strategy. Donald Trump wants to make sure voters know that he's not beholden to anyone, even the leaders of his own party.
This morning, Donald Trump in an all-out war with fellow Republican and House Speaker Paul Ryan.
I wouldn't want to be in a foxhole with a lot of these people, that I can tell you.
But McCain's a brave man.
Including Ryan.
He's a brave man, McCain.
By the way, including Ryan, especially
I got
Ryan.
that.
The Republican nominee, furious, Ryan told House Republicans he would no longer defend him or campaign for him. And Trump saying Ryan, in part, inspired this tweet. It's so nice that the shackles have been taken off me, and I can now fight for America the way I want to.
The shackles are some of the establishment people that are weak and ineffective people within the Republican Party, senators and others, and Paul Ryan, led to a certain extent by Paul Ryan.
They were holding
being
you
nasty
back?
to the nominee.
Ryan's split with Trump comes after that Access Hollywood video surfaced. Trump, on a bus, bragging his celebrity status, allows him to grope women.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the can do anything.
And though Trump apologized for his comments, he's now suggesting the controversy was overblown.
Well, first of all, locker room talk, and most people have heard it before, and I've had a lot of women come up to me and said, boy, I've heard that, and I've heard a lot worse than that over my life.
But Trump, fully aware that moment could have cost him the election.
If that's what's going to take to lose an election, that would be pretty sad.
His campaign now releasing this vicious ad attacking Hillary Clinton's health.
Hillary Clinton failed every single time as Secretary of State. Now she wants to be president. Hillary Clinton doesn't have the fortitude, strength, or stamina to lead in our world.
The ad intended to slow Clinton's growing lead in the polls. Trump's running mate having to calm some supporters who are making threats if Clinton wins.
If Hillary Clinton gets in, I'm ready for a revolution because we can't have her in.
Yeah, you don't say.
But I'm just saying it.
There's a revolution coming on November the 8th, I promise you.
Now, to give you a sense of the fracture between Donald Trump and his own party, USA Today is out with a story this morning that shows a quarter of Republican governors, senators, and House members will not be voting for Trump on Election Day. The paper calling this unprecedented in American political history, George.
Okay, Tom Yamas, thanks very much. Let's talk now to Kellyanne Conway, Donald Trump's campaign manager. Thanks for coming back to GMA this morning. You heard Tom right there at the top saying this is the strategy now of Mr. Trump to take on his own party. How is that going to help you win?
Well, it's going to help him just take his message directly to the voters, George. I mean, we've been playing very nicely with members of the party. The RNC and us have a wonderful relationship. I talk to Reince Priebus several times a day. His chief of staff and chief strategist are in our tower most days. And I'm really happy that they've provided so much of the basis for our ground game, our data operation, our field staff. So, and I just want to say, when Donald Trump raises money like he did, millions and millions of dollars yesterday in fundraisers, a lot of that money goes to the party and it helps those down ballot candidates.
But as Tom just said, you've got now a quarter of senators, members of Congress, governors not supporting Donald Trump. Last night he said that he doesn't want the support of House Speaker Paul Ryan, yet earlier in the day he said he was losing because he didn't have the support. So which is it?
Well, we want the support of anybody who's going to publicly endorse us, but enough of the pussyfooting around in terms of, do you support us or do you not support us? And the fact is that, some of these leaders have been very wishy-washy. And I think that Paul Ryan has a job to do to keep the majority in Congress, and the new president of the United States will go ahead and be with him, to help get legislation through. At the same time...
But does Mr. Trump want Paul Ryan to be the speaker if he's elected?
Well, that's up to the members of the Congress, but I hope it means that we have a majority in the House, the Senate, and the presidency, because that actually would be the best indication that Americans who are voting for Donald Trump for president also want a mandate for him to push through different pieces of legislation.
It's not looking like that right now. The latest polls have you down about 9 points, falling behind in the Electoral College as well. And we just saw that ad that you all are playing now showing Hillary Clinton coughing, showing her stumble after that 9/11 ceremony. You've got a huge gap with women right now. How are you going to be able to make that up running ads like that?
Well, we need to take the message directly to them on issues they care about, like education and
Hillary
Obamacare.
Clinton coughing and stumbling?
Well, we're calling into question her record as Secretary of State. And frankly, an ad that we're releasing today is called Corruption, and it really takes into account the fact that the Clintons came out of the White House. She said they were, quote, dead broke, and went ahead and made $250 million in speaking fees.
But right there, you're making fun of her health.
No, we're calling into question whether she's got the stamina to lead, and I think that's an important issue. It came up in the first debate.
And in the second debate, Mr. Trump said she always gets right back up.
She does, and thank God. And when she fell that day, Mr. Trump said nothing about it except he hopes that she was feeling well. We all did, and we do hope. I'm glad to hear that she's got a clean bill of health.
Now you're running it in ads.
But George, what does she do every single day? All she does is call him names. All she does is call into question his character. And we want this election to be not just about character, but also about issues. I mean, nobody wants to. ABC did an unbelievable report last night. I hope everyone will see it, about Friends of Bill getting preference by the State Department after the earthquake in Haiti in 2010. This is not the way that the government should be run.
I want to go back to another moment in the debate the other night. Mr. Trump's threat to jail Hillary Clinton. You dismissed that as a quip. Yet he's repeated it on the stump several times now. He's calling for a special prosecutor. And even Donald Trump's allies say that shouldn't be the kind of language we have in a campaign. The former Attorney General Michael Mukasey, he says this would be like a banana republic, putting political opponents in jail for offenses committed in a political setting. Even if they are criminal offenses, it's something we just don't do here.
So I think Donald Trump is channeling the frustrations of millions of Americans, and he hears from many of them at his rallies and otherwise, that just feel there's a different set of rules for Hillary Clinton.
But he's threatening to use the power of the presidency to put her in jail.
It wouldn't be up to him whether or not she goes to jail. That would have to be fully adjudicated through the regular channels like it would be for anyone else. But George, people do feel frustrated that there's always a different set of rules for Hillary Clinton.
He's not calling for the regular channels, he's calling for a special prosecutor.
We'll have to see if he's elected president, if that makes any sense. But I will tell you that folks get upset that we've got a gentleman, an American, who took pictures inside a submarine, who got jail time away from his child. Other people, if they are seen as violating the classified or the confidentiality of a national security document, they also face penalty. And in this case, FBI Director Jim Comey did make clear that she lied about how many servers she had, what happened to them.
No reasonable prosecutor would bring the case.
And many others have criticized him for that, saying that other people have been penalized. Look, obviously, in ABC's polling and other places, Hillary Clinton has a very difficult time proving to the American people that she's honest and trustworthy. And I don't think that her actions with her server and the way they treated the email, really imperiling everybody's national security, help that veracity challenge that she has.
That's all we have time for this morning. Kellyanne, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Kellyanne. ABC's John Carl is going to join us now from Washington. You just heard from Kellyanne. We've heard from Donald Trump. How severe is this divide in the GOP, John, and where do we go from here?
Well, Robin, that was stunning. Kellyanne Conway, just when asked directly by George whether or not Donald Trump thinks that Speaker of the House Paul Ryan should still be the Speaker of the House next year, wouldn't answer. I mean, that is an extraordinary sign that we are truly at war Donald Trump, not just against Hillary Clinton, but against some of the most prominent and respected members in his own party. And Republicans are now seeing a situation where base voters supporting Trump are angry at them, and also the moderate swing voters who are upset by their ties to Trump. It's really a lose-lose situation for Republicans.
And John, how does the Clinton campaign deal with an unshackled Trump? His words, unshackled Trump. Are there concerns there?
Well, I've been talking to senior people in the Clinton campaign about this. They say that for the next 4 weeks, they are preparing for a scorched earth strategy coming from Donald Trump. They think that the next 4 weeks of this campaign will look like the first 30 minutes of that debate, with Donald Trump throwing absolutely everything, personal attacks, bringing up Bill Clinton's past. That's a real challenge for them, because it's harder to get a positive message out of what Hillary Clinton stands for when she's dealing with that much incoming.
27 days to go. All right, John, thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on now, get the latest on that deadly plane crash in Connecticut. One passenger killed when the flight went up in flames, and now the FBI is investigating. ABC's Lindsay Jennis is here, and Lindsay, FBI involved because of some evidence this may not have been an accident.
Good morning, George. That's right. When that plane came barreling out of the sky, most assumed it was an accident. But federal investigators are now looking into whether the person flying it may have crashed it on purpose. This morning, the FBI investigating whether this plane crash
we got a fully involved aircraft on fire on Main Street.
Was intentional. The pilot who survived telling authorities the twin-engine crash was not an accident. The plane taking off from an airport in Hartford, Connecticut, with a student pilot and instructor reportedly on board. Just before 4 p.m. Tuesday, the aircraft striking utility poles.
The fact that this wasn't even more catastrophic is nothing short of a miracle.
Then cartwheeling down Main Street, narrowly missing a van carrying a mother and her children before bursting into flames.
3 poles, when it hit the last one, it just boom.
A bystander posting this dramatic video, tweeting, "The plane came inches from our office, went right by the window." The chief of police saying he asked the FBI to investigate because the plane went down near a Pratt & Whitney factory, describing it as critical infrastructure. The company, a global manufacturer of jet engines for commercial, military, and general aviation. That pilot instructor was rushed to the hospital and is reportedly being treated for burns. Again, his student pilot did not survive, and that mother in the minivan apparently so shaken she couldn't speak. Authorities say it is a miracle no one on the ground was hurt. Michael?
We're glad no one on the ground was hurt. Thank you very much for that. Now, the Southeast is still feeling the effect of Hurricane Matthew this morning. Take a look at this flooding in North Carolina. The water is not going anywhere, forcing thousands of people from their homes. And Philip Minna is there in North Carolina. Good morning, Philip.
Michael, good morning. The flooding in this region is catastrophic, and this is the epicenter. This senior citizen home evacuated. You can see just how deep the water is now. That red car is submerged. Many people living here, they're searching higher ground while they still can. Overnight, rescuers in North Carolina hard at work, still pulling stranded residents from their flooded homes.
This is the worst that we've ever had.
75 miles from the coast, the town of Lumberton underwater.
We don't have nothing, no clothes, no shoes, no nothing. My grandkids lost their Pampers and their milk. We don't have anything.
Ready, lift, 1, 2, 3. More than 2,000 residents there rescued. 18 people in North Carolina now dead.
Too many people have died. And we don't want any more to die.
The U.S. death toll from Hurricane Matthew up to at least 36. Hundreds of thousands still without power. Tuesday afternoon, National Guard troops racing to repair a crucial dam in Moore County. A growing hole about the size of a fire truck, threatening even more destruction and more lives.
They're risking their life to get this thing done, and to me, those are superheroes.
This as multiple rivers in the state continue to swell to record levels. This street, aligned with businesses, is now part of the Lumber River, and it's been in record flood stage for days. Michael?
All right, thank you, Philip. And Ginger, you have more on the flooding.
Right, because he just said it, record flood stage for days, and it will keep going for days. So we have more of the images from Lumberton, North Carolina, which we've been showing you, but that's not the only river that we have to showcase here as far as who's being affected. Flood warnings stretch from South Carolina through southeastern Virginia, and you can see a couple of those rivers we wanted to highlight. The Neuse River, for example, at Goldsboro, it's crested at record already. It's staying up there and staying at major flood stage all the way through Sunday. So this is not going to be over for some time. A quick check of Hurricane Nicole, which is a Category 2, hits Bermuda tomorrow or affects them. All right, we'll come back with much more. Robin?
All right, Ginger, appreciate that. But now to a very happy reunion. That 4-year-old girl who was missing for days, she's now back in her family's arms, safe after being kidnapped and found more than 800 miles away. ABC's Steve Osunsami has that story for us.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Cameras were there and rolling the moment authorities reunited 4-year-old Rebecca Lewis with her family in Florida.
Thank you for bringing me home. Thank you, bring me home.
She'd been missing since Saturday until police found her more than 800 miles away at Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. A young woman at the hospital saw the girl walking hand in hand with her alleged abductor and recognized her from Amber Alerts on Facebook.
My dad looks at me and I showed my phone and said she's wearing the same outfit. And immediately they took that ride and we went straight to security.
Police surrounded a silver car in the parking lot and rescued the 4-year-old uninjured.
I want to say thank you to you because without you, I don't know what this would have been.
31-year-old West Wild Hogs, who changed his name to that legally, is in police custody this morning. Police say the longtime family friend was spotted with the girl in several surveillance videos, including this one from a Nashville gas station around 2 a.m. Monday morning. Tennessee authorities are now under fire for waiting until later that day to issue an Amber Alert.
We did receive a phone call from his agency asking us to issue an Amber Alert. We asked, is the individual she's with a danger? Does he have any criminal history? Again, the agency said no.
Authorities did issue a police alert to be on the lookout.
There are just so many of these cases where the victims are never found or their cases are ignored, which makes this reunion all the more remarkable. Hogs has a court appearance in Tennessee this morning. Robin.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. So a happy ending there and a happy ending last night for the Cubs.
If you're a Chicago fan, you really are happy this morning because it did not look good for Chicago Cubs fans last night. They were down going into the 9th inning, and then they came alive. Breaking the curse, or closer to breaking the curse that has been on them for 108 years. They scored 4 runs in the 9th for an epic comeback to win 6-5 and eliminate the Giants from the playoff. They now advance to the championship series to play either the Dodgers or Nationals. And they're one step closer to breaking that curse that everybody's been talking about.
The curse of the Billy Goat.
And I'm tired. I'm sure they're tired of hearing about the curse of the Billy Goat. And one Cubs player said after the game, "We never quit, and we aren't stopping now."
Definition of clutch last night.
Yep, I'm sure that's exactly what their fans wanted to see, and that's what they wanted to hear. They're not done yet.
All right, let's go back to Ginger right now. You got a new fire in California?
Yeah, that's one in Elizabeth Lake, California. So you can see the video here. This is the area of our nation that is so dry and could so use some of this rain I'm about to tell you about. But the fire watches are up, the wind advisories, especially for Northern California, parts of Oregon and California, Washington State. Look for that. More than 12 inches of rain possible as we go through the next several days. And again, some of the wind gusts could top 70 or even 100 miles per hour as some of the mountain passes. The Chilly Cities now, brought to you by Benefiber.
Can't see it, can't taste it, but there's so much more to it. Here's how Benefiber works.
Inside each of us are trillions of good microflora that support good digestive health. The prebiotic fiber in Benefiber nourishes them so they can thrive.
And what helps them helps you and me every day.
Clear, taste-free, all-natural Benefiber. Nourish the goodness inside. Also try Benefiber Healthy Shape. It's proven to keep you feeling fuller longer.
Okay, on this Wednesday, our start not quite as chilly as it's been. In fact, our temperatures will warm very nicely today. 65 at lunchtime, 70 degrees for this afternoon. So we get the A-OK for today. Now, we're going to be tracking some showers for tomorrow. The best chance is between noon and 3 p.m. tomorrow. Not going to get a lot of rain, but just a little bit coming through. Then temperatures cool very quickly once that weather system moves through. 74 Thursday, 64 on Friday. The weekend, nice and dry.
And no, it's still fall, but this is the time of year I get to hear you guys go, oh no, look at this video. Rapid City, South Dakota got their first snow.
Oh, no. On cue. Thank you there, Ginger.
Sure.
Coming up, a new twist in that Kim Kardashian robbery scandal. A jewel now recovered at the scene. Investigators searching it for DNA evidence. Could it lead to the culprits? Plus a new video showing Kim just after the incident.
And Tim Tebow to the rescue. What did he do off the